Content warning. This video discusses the topics of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and sexual assault. For full policy definitions and examples, please see the JMU Student Handbook at jmu.edu/handbook. Sexual misconduct policy at JMU encompasses various forms of power-based interpersonal violence that cause harm to individuals. The first behavior is sexual assault, defined as a sexual act committed against another person without consent. For purposes of this policy, sexual assault includes any of the following offenses. 1. Rape. Penetration, no matter how slight, of the vagina or anus with any body part or object, or oral penetration by a sex organ of another person, without the consent of the victim. Attempts to commit rape are included. Number 2. Fondling. The touching of the private body parts of another person for the purpose of sexual gratification without the consent of the victim. Number 3. Incest. Sexual intercourse between persons who are related to each other within the degrees wherein marriage is prohibited by law. Number 4. Statutory rape. Sexual intercourse with a person who is under the statutory age of consent. The statutory age of consent in the Commonwealth of Virginia is 18 years old. Sexual assault also includes any non-consensual physical contact of a sexual nature that is forced on another person, including unwelcome sexual touching of any kind. This includes engaging, attempting to engage, or completing any kissing, intentional touching of another person's body part in a sexual manner, directly or through clothing, or forcing a person to touch oneself or another person's body part in a sexual manner, directly or through clothing. The second behavior is sexual exploitation, which means taking sexual advantage of someone without that person's consent. Some examples could be sharing sexual photos or videos without consent, taking or creating sexual photos or videos without consent, or knowingly spreading sexually transmitted diseases to a partner. The third behavior is sexual harassment, which is verbal, nonverbal, or physical conduct of a sexual nature that is a term or condition of employment, education, or membership. Verbal, nonverbal, or physical conduct of a sexual nature that creates a hostile environment is also sexual harassment. Sexual jokes, comments, stories, writing, gestures, and motions can all rise to the level of sexual harassment. Unwelcome or offensive sexual advances, whistling, or catcalling can too. If someone is required to endure these behaviors due to their job or their studies, or if they are significantly severe, persistent, or pervasive, this could be a violation of policy. The fourth behavior is dating violence, which is a form of sexual violence committed by a person who is or has been in a social relationship of a romantic or intimate nature with another person. Sexual violence refers to physical sexual acts perpetrated against a person's will or where a person is incapable of giving consent. The fifth behavior is domestic violence, which occurs when a crime of violence occurs within the context of an existing or former intimate relationship. Crimes of violence include, among other things, assault, damage of property, and forcible sex offenses. The sixth behavior is stalking, which happens when someone engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to fear for their safety or the safety of others or suffer substantial emotional distress. Social media can be involved, but stalking is more than just liking an old tweet or Instagram post. It's a pattern of serious and specific behavior. The seventh behavior is non-consensual relationships. The university prohibits sexual relationships between university community members that are influenced by fear or coercion or where a power difference exists. For example, generally, faculty and staff may not date or have sexual relationships with students. Supervisors may not date or have sexual relationships with people they supervise. And residence hall staff, like RAs and hall directors, may not date or have sexual relationships with residents in their halls. For more information on the sexual misconduct and Title IX sexual harassment policies, or the processes used to investigate and or adjudicate such allegations, visit jmu.edu/handbook or jmu.edu/Title IX.